All right, so 9.4, practicing solving systems by graphing. So the concept of a solution, again, means this solution 5.2 is a solution of both of these if you plug it in and makes two true statements. So let's do that. So in this one, it's going to be 5 minus 5 times 2 equals negative 5. So that's 5 minus 10, which is negative 5. Check. You don't have to work out every step of the way if you can, figure it out. Then here, 2 times 5 plus 10 equals 10 times 2. 10 plus 10 is 20. That's 20. Check. That's really all you have to do. And then just say yes. All right. Same thing here, negative 2 and 3. So we're going to plug in negative 2 for B. Always be careful with negatives, and especially plugging into subtraction formulas. So this is going to be negative 2 minus 5 times 3 equals negative 5. So this is negative 15. So negative 2 minus 15 is negative 17. That's not negative 5. So that's not true. And you can stop. You don't have to prove both of them wrong, because if one of them's wrong, it can't be a solution that's common. Now 0, 1. 0 minus 5 times 1 equals negative 5. Well, that's negative 5. 0 minus, sorry. This is 0 minus 5 times 1, which is negative 5. Or negative 5 times 1. Doesn't matter. Different ways of looking at it, you get negative 5. And then 2 times 0, which is 0, plus 10, which is 10, equals 10 times 1, which is 10. Check. Yes. All right, just like we did earlier in the year, we're going to graph these, but remember you want to definitely use a ruler to find your intersections when graphing and drawing your line. Don't freehand it, otherwise it will be inaccurate. So 2x minus 1, a reminder, that means your y-intercept is negative 1. Your slope is 2, which means up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. And the more of these you do, the more accurate your line is going to be. You can also go down 2, left 1. That's all I can do there. And there we go. Our next one is x equals negative 2. So that's going to be a vertical line at negative 2. So if we would have kept going from here, down 2, right 1, we were here. We went right down 2, right, left 1, we'd end up right there at negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks like. But we don't leave it like that, we check. So this is where we just did the top. We're going to plug in and verify. So we're going to plug in negative 2, 5. So 5 equals 2 times negative 2 minus 1. Sorry, that'd be negative 2, negative 5. That makes more sense. So that's negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Check. And x equals negative 2. That's pretty easy. Negative 2 equals negative 2. Check. So this one is correct. All right, now the next one, we have choices here. We can solve for y, but since 4 and 3 both are factors of 24, and so are 8 and 2, we can just do the cover-up method. So I'm going to cover up the 4, or the x, because I plugged a 0 in for x, and that means y is, be careful, it's a negative 24, so y is negative 8. So this is actually a bad one, because that means our y-intercept is 0, negative 8, which we cannot graph on here. So we just don't have enough room. So let's do this. Let's also find the other intercept now. So that is going to be x equals negative 6. So that's going to be here. And we're going to be down at -8, which is down here somewhere. We'll come back to that. Now in this one, I'm going to cover up the x. When I divide by -2, y will be 8. Cover up the y, x will be -2. So x is -2, and that's 0, 8. And so we are going to connect those lines. I've got a delay on my computer and it's not making this easy. Okay, so there's that one. Now, the only thing we can really do is we actually have to solve this for y. And we'll put it on our calculator. So when we do that, we end up with y equals -4/3 x minus 8. And then if we go and put that in our calculator, we get the point -3, -4, which is right here. Which is obviously our point of intersection. Okay, so then what we do is we plug those numbers in and verify that they are both lines. It'll save you time, they do, but you should check on your own. All right, let's do this again. So here I'm going to cover up my x, which means divide by 2, y is -3. And I'm going to move and cover up the y, divide by -3, x is +2. Cover up that, divide by 10, y is 3. Cover up the y, divide by -5, x is -6. So this looks like it's going to meet about 6, 6. So I'm going to plug in 6, 6 and check. So -3 times 6 plus 2 times 6 equals -6. So this is -18 plus 12 equals -6. Check. -5 times 6 plus 10 times 6 equals 30. That's -30. 60 minus 30 is 30. Check. So the point is 6, 6. Last but not least, cover up the x. Y is 2. Cover up the y. Divide by 2. X is 5. Which again, unfortunately, is going to be slightly right off. Right about there. cover up the x. That's plus 10, right? No, it's minus 10. So divide by negative 10, y is going to be negative 2. Divide by negative 4, x is going to be negative 5. And it looks like they might be parallel. So let's check the slopes on these. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's got negative 2/5 slope. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 2/5 slope. So the answer is no solution. They are parallel. And by counting the slopes, we checked that. All right. 2/3 x minus 2. I'm going to put y-intercept right there and then count 2/3. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And also negative 2, which makes this one really easy. Negative 5/2. So we can't count down 5, we can go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 2. And again, this one's kind of obvious. It is going to cross at 0, negative 2. Which again, we know that from that. So this one really does not require a check because the y-intercept is negative 2 on both. But if you plugged in 0, again, that makes that go away, and you get negative 2 equals negative 2. Plug in 0, negative 2 equals negative 2. We're good to go. All right, y equals x minus 3. That's a negative 3 y-intercept. And a slope of 1, which means down 1, left 1, or up 1, right 1. And it's just this diagonal line right there. Once again here, we can use the cover-up method because 3 goes into 9. So y is going to be negative 3, which we already hit. And x is going to be positive 3, which is right there. So it's the same line. So the solution is infinite. There's really nothing really to check. They ended up on top of each other. They're the same line. Now, this one you got to pay attention to. It's negative y. We don't want that. So we're going to make it y equals. Over here, we're going to make it these both positive. And I also like to always have the x first. So 2x plus 1. Which means the y-intercept of 1. And a slope of 2, which means up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And again, down 2, left 1. The more points you have, the more accurate your line is going to be. Here, I cannot do cover method because 5 does not go in 16. So I need to move the 5x over. So it's going to be 2y equals negative 5x minus 16. Then divide by 2, which gives me y equals negative 5/2 x minus 8. Which, again, is going to make it rough because we can't graph that. So the way around that is, again, just put that in our calculator, negative 5/2 x minus 8, and then just get some points off of the table. So when I do that, a really good one is the obvious one, negative 2, negative 3. That's going to be a point of intersection. And then -6, +7. That's good enough. That gives us something to connect dots. If we want to, we could also do -4, 2. That gives us plenty to connect. And we already know where it meets, and that's -2, 3. But again, technically, what you would do is plug those in here and here and check. And please make sure you do this on the quiz to get the full points. And the last one here, we have 1/2 x plus 4. So there's our 4. 1/2 means up 1, right 2, or down 1, left 2. Straight edge. And the last one, again, this is not solved. We need to divide by 3. That gives me y equals 4/3 x minus 1. So minus 1, 4/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Technology. So that looks like it meets around 6, 7. And I put them both in the calculator, and yes, it was 6, 7.